The mist arrived as a slow, silent wave swallowing the last vestiges of the sun. Thomas had been walking for hours across the Drenthe heathland, the vast, lonely expanse of purple and brown heather, stretching out under a sky that had curdled to a bruised grey. The air grew heavy, damp with the smell of wet moss and ancient peat. It was deep into the veen, the old Dutch moor, where the ground felt spongy and treacherous beneath his boots. The fog thickened, pressing in around him until he could see no further than the small circle illuminated by his handheld lamp. Every few steps, a shallow pool of black water would glisten in the gloom, reflecting the ghostly shroud of the mist, a place of whispers and warnings. His host had cautioned. Do not walk the Drenthe Heide when the Witte Wieven come out. The white women, they are not kind. Thomas, a man of modern science and solid city streets, had laughed it off. But now, the silence was absolute, save for the rhythmic squelch of his own footfalls. And then there was another sound, a sound that shouldn't be here. It was a delicate, lilting melody, like a broken music box playing a tune from a forgotten dream. Thomas stopped, his heart suddenly hammering against his ribs. The melody was near, directly ahead in the densest part of the fog. As he peered forward, a shape materialized in the swirling white. It was a woman. She was hovering, not standing, her bare feet seeming to brush the tips of the heather without disturbing them. She wore a gown of diaphanous white, so thin it was almost liquid, catching the faint moonlight and seeming to radiate a soft inner glow. Her hair was what held his gaze. It cascaded down her back like a molten river of pure shimmering silver, falling far past her waist. She turned her face toward him. Her features were perfectly sculpted, ageless and hauntingly sad, yet her lips curved into an invitation. Lost traveler, she murmured. Her voice was the source of the melody, weaving its sound into his mind. Come, the fog is cold. Let me keep you warm. Thomas's rational thoughts dissolved instantly. He was involved in a pale flame. He took a step toward her, drawn by an irresistible magnetic force. He knew, a deep ancient part of him screamed the warning, that this was the danger, this was the folklore, the fatal beauty of the bog. But the spell was cast. Who are you? He managed, his voice a dry rasp. She extended a hand, her skin like porcelain in the weak light. Your desire, she whispered. Your true, final rest. He stumbled toward her. The ground was wetter here, softer. He dropped his lamp, and the light extinguished in the damp moss. The silver-haired woman smiled, and her smile was the last beautiful light he would ever see. He was right beside her now, the scent of her like night-blooming jasmine, mixed with the metallic tang of deep, cold earth. He reached out, his fingers brushing the fabric of her dress. It felt like cold water, the space in a single breath. The soft ground gave way entirely. He fell, not a stumble, but a sickening plunge into the black, sucking muck of the veen. He thrashed wildly, but the peat was an insatiable mouth, closing over his legs, his waist. He looked up desperate, his eyes searching for the silver-haired woman. She was still there, floating serenely above the rising, swirling mist. Her face impassive now, stripped of its seductive mask. She did not reach for him. She did not cry out. She was simply the custodian of the deep. The peat closed around his chest, and then his neck. His last desperate thought was of the chilling beauty of the silver hair and the utter silence of the desolate moor. A cold black earth swallowed his final breath, preserving his body. Another secret, another offering, until the Drenthe Moor finally gave up its ancient dead.